Hello and welcome to another edition of the PHNX Dbacks podcast right here on PHNX. It's our home opener. It's the Dbacks home opener, and we are thrilled. Well, I shouldn't say thrilled. We are here.
How do you feel, Derek?
We are here. I'm sad. I'm sad, Jesse. Of course, I am your mayor, PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. That guy way over there is my vice mayor. He's also known as Thunderstick Jesse Friedman, and he has returned to us from the state of California. And of course, this set is looking a lot more beautiful tonight because we are joined by the queen herself, the one and only Michaela Perkins. Michaela, thank you for being here.
You flatter me. Thank you for letting me join you. I kind of called an audible and I was like, well, I was at the game, so I might as well just, hop on the show.
Yeah, you had to suffer through that with us, so you might as well be here with us. But Gabe says, last time I spent $40 on a ticket.
Oh, man.
Oh, pal. I'm sorry, buddy.
To your $40.
Yeah, no, I mean, trust me, I feel that same way every time I bet on Christian Walker hitting a home run. But thank you guys for being here. And we are very sad. We were very excited to be out there. Chase Field was a vibe. It was very exciting to go out there for opening day. All of the pregame festivities were on point.
Yeah.
The stadium looked beautiful. By the way, again, just to clarify, the roof can be open.
Yes.
Yeah, so many people are really confused.
They're
about
so
that.
confused about that. So let's get that. Let's clarify this. The roof can be opened. It just can't be opened with people in the stadium in any capacity. And that doesn't count like people that work there or the players for some reason.
They get workers' comp.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the media.
Or
they're fine
with opening it when we're there.
If the cables fall on the media, then that's not a problem. But if the cables fall on the fans, then we've got ourselves a big legal problem on our hands.
I don't know how many people have seen the first 5 minutes of the movie Ghost Ship, but for some reason, that is what I envision happening, going wrong with the roof, because it sounds like something terribly tragic and awful can go wrong.
It's like a Final Destination movie
exactly,
waiting to happen.
Exactly.
Do we believe this? Parking was $130 downtown tonight?
No. There's no way. There's no way.
I will say I wouldn't be surprised if there were some places perhaps charging that, but not getting it, you know?
If you paid $130 for parking, my friend, let me tell you, you just got swindled.
Taylor Swift, there was $75 for the premium parking close to State Farm Stadium.
So Diamondbacks legally can't charge more than Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's true.
In the state of Arizona, there's no reason to ever pay $100 for parking.
Right.
No.
Arizona is too like the
it's
thing.
Too accessible.
It's not
you can
San
find
Francisco,
parking lots.
right?
You can find exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. LA is really bad about that too, by the way, as Jesse probably experienced himself.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's awful.
I mean, as a member of the media, you don't really notice because you're there so long that basically everyone, at least I'm there so long that basically everyone is gone by the time I'm actually leaving the stadium.
You're there before everybody and you're there long after everybody.
It's beautiful. It really is beautiful.
He's not
when I've been to Dodger Stadium and just sat in the stands, yes, you just sit in your car. And it's great. You call a friend, you do your taxes. You've got hours in your car before you're possibly going to make any progress.
Whoever built Dodger Stadium is an idiot. There's no reason there should only be one way in and one way out. What are we doing?
I mean, there might be multiple exits.
No, I think there's only one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I only used one, so I can't say.
It reminds me of the Hollywood Bowl. The Hollywood Bowl has this weird parking where everybody parks in a line, but if the people in front of you don't move and the people to the side of you don't move, you ain't leaving until they're gone. It's the weirdest thing ever. But
everything the Dodgers do is awful.
Yeah, everything in LA.
Except for what they did today.
Today was not.
Pretty good.
But back to the roof, by the way, they can't open it. They just have to do it without people in the building. So the problem is, as it gets hotter, they have to open it hours and hours before people come into the stadium, and then it just gets very hot. Even on an 85-degree day, we have been standing down, Jesse and I, and touch the railing there right by, to go in and out of the field and stuff, and it's hot.
You're cooking.
The longer that they keep that roof open, that I think that's the real problem, is they just can't leave it open so many hours before people get there and then not have it be terribly uncomfortable in the stadium once they're in. But the stadium looked beautiful tonight. The flyover was on point. All of the pregame festivities were fun. I think Gabriel asked, why did the game have to be so late? This is one of 5 7-10 starts the entire year, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much just for the extra pregame festivities. I believe they have that extra half an hour on there. Christian Walker says, or I'm sorry, sporting Christian Walker's not here. He's accepting his Gold Glove, but sporting my bad habits. Arthur Shaw says Christian Walker home runs coming tomorrow. Derek, it's Kershaw pitching. Yes, I'll gladly waste my money again tomorrow. I have no problem doing that. But even though things were very good for Chase Field, things weren't so good for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Specifically, Merrill Kelly was not very good today, and he has not been good so far this season ever since. I mean, you could even chalk up the appearance of the WBC.
Feel like the WBC was a precursor to what we were about to get, like a little preview.
I mean, and it did. We talked to Tori Lamello before the game today, and Tori did comment about how that entire thing, and mixed with a rain out and some other just.
Yeah, it kind of messed with some guys throwing schedules. Yeah. Guys maybe aren't quite as stretched out as maybe they would be. But I don't think that was really a problem for Merrill today.
No,
right?
He threw 99 pitches.
He threw longer than
he should have.
Way longer than he should have.
We're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that. But yeah, Merrill, I mean, at Dodger Stadium, he didn't allow a run, technically, right? 3 2/3 innings, no runs. But,
short outing.
4 walks. I think it was 3 or 4 hits as well. In this game, he gave up 6 hits, 4 walks again. That's not the way that Merrill Kelly normally operates, right? He's normally kind of a control artist, and the way that he gets by is not by blowing guys away, but because he's able to locate it where he wants to. And that's just not the guy that we've seen so far in 2023. And unfortunately for Merrill, both of his starts have come against the one team that he just cannot figure out.
He's just so bad against the Dodgers. He's just flat out not good against the Dodgers.
What was the slash line for Dodgers hitters against Merrill Kelly, Derek?
Wrap your mind around this. In 14 games, Merrill Kelly is 0-10 with a 5.64 ERA, and that's not factoring in tonight's start yet. So it's probably going to be even higher, giving up 4 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. The Dodgers have a 303 team batting average against him with an 888 OPS.
Oh, no.
Like, it's just all-star numbers as an entire team on average. In 14 starts, it's a huge, you can't say it's a small sample size.
Ooh, just line them up.
It's getting to the point that you have to question if maybe you should skip Merrill Kelly's turn in the rotation when playing the Dodgers. I mean, I feel like that's embarrassing. I feel like that's like demoralizing to him, right? But at the same time, when do you make a managerial move to try to ensure that you're giving your team the best opportunity? I mean, Merrill Kelly can be very good, and we've seen him be very good against anybody, including teams in the NL West that are tough teams, but for some reason the Dodgers just seem to have his number.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I mean, the only way that the Diamondbacks could have gotten Merrill to avoid throwing against the Dodgers would be to make him their 5th starter, I guess. Like, they would have had to start him 5th. And then, I mean, he's pitching against the Padres. I don't have his career numbers against San Diego in front of me, but that lineup is still, is very, very good at this point, better than it's been in years past. I don't think that was realistic. You're not going to take a guy who had a 3.37 ERA last year over 200 innings and be like, we don't believe that you're good enough to, pitch against the Dodgers. We're going to try to, hijack the schedule so that you're throwing elsewhere.
Hold on to your butts though, Jesse, because is that bad managing when Merrill Kelly is 8-2 in 13 starts against the San Diego Padres with a 2.61 ERA? I don't know.
I mean, I don't
know.
It's better. But I mean, the Padres also didn't have Xander Bogaerts, and
fair enough.
And I mean, a lot of those starts probably came before, the Padres offense has gotten significantly better over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
There you go, trying to be a realist again. But I will say this, that Tori Lamello did make some moves tonight that you could question, including Kyle Lewis coming in at one point, I think, for Alec Thomas. That didn't seem like it was the best call considering the pitching matchup. I believe Dave Roberts made a switch to kind of counter Kyle Lewis maybe coming in the game, but there was also some questionable managerial moves when it came to Merrill Kelly.
It was the 6th inning. You've got Will Smith. He doubles to lead off. I think Merrill had 78, 79 pitches, something like that going into the inning. So you feel like, all right, he's got it,
This is going to be his last inning, but he'll be able to go out and have
short leash. But I mean, you're going to throw him out there. So Will Smith doubles, Max Muncy strikes out, which apparently is all Max Muncy does anymore. I don't really know what happened there.
I don't know.
And then JD Martinez walked. So you've got 1st and 2nd with 1 out. You had Kyle Nelson, a lefty, warming up in the bullpen, and you've got two lefties in David Peralta and James Outman coming to the plate for the Dodgers. If Dave Roberts is in that situation, he's yanking Merrill Kelly. He's going to get his lefty, and he's going to try to get out of the inning. It wasn't, runner at first, 2 outs. Like, all right, see if you can get this last out. It was first and second, 1 out. Right. I mean, Merrill is genuinely in trouble at this point. David Peralta, not necessarily an elite hitter or something. This wasn't Freddie Freeman, but you still want to have a favorable matchup in that situation. Yeah. Peralta winds up grounding into a force out. You feel okay. And then James Outman, hits the RBI single, and then you're like, all right, you probably should have gone to that lefty. And then Torey Lovello does go to the lefty, but he does so against Chris Taylor, a right-handed hitter, righties. Which is very, Chris Taylor did wind up flying out. So I guess that worked out okay, but a really bizarre decision there from Torey.
And I mean, obviously there's other analytics that go into this besides just the lefty versus righty versus lefty matchup, but still.
But it's not that complicated.
It's really not. Like, baseball sometimes is not that complicated. And when you see these moves made by other teams that are winning, it's not complicated. It's just believing in a guy, knowing who you're going to go to and how it's going to work out. Torey, speaking of which, talked about how he's kind of structured these games before the game. He talked about especially, the bullpen and the closer situation. And again, like we discussed, how many options it gives him and how fluid it makes the situation. It sounds like Torey does know who he's going to go to as a closer, or at least has an idea prior to the game. So he does have that kind of set up. But of course, even that feels like you're still looking at a closer, right? Because if you're managing the game and you're going to someone based on the best situation, you really have no idea what situation you're going to be in late in the game, in the ninth, and what guy you're going to go to. If you're going to need to go to a lefty or a righty, maybe you have an idea of which, 2 guys maybe you have in mind that you might go to. But we kind of talked about, it still doesn't seem like an ideal situation because Torey doesn't really know yet who he can count on in these roles. And it feels like eventually he's just going to find one guy that he can and go there, right?
Yeah, I mean, we even talked to Dre Jameson before the game started, and he even kind of was expressing the same type of concerns. Like, he just wants to know where he's going. Like, he wants to know his role. Like, Dre said it to us. He was like, I want to know where I'm going in this rotation. Like, hello, Saul.
Hi, Saul.
Hi, Saul.
I want to do the gritty.
Yeah.
He's literally doing the
so I understand that. We don't know what that feels like.
The Suns won tonight. We're in a bad mood. I mean, even Dre said it too. Dre was like, I just want to know where I'm going to pitch. Like, so I think there's like a shared consensus of wanting to have defined roles for this bullpen. And, despite coming into the season, we were all scared about the bullpen. Like, I don't think there's one person out here, but it's not the problem.
The
bullpen's doing great.
The bullpen has been
knock on wood.
The best thing about the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks statistically has been the bullpen.
Because the offense has been trash.
Garbage.
And the starting pitching has been very bad.
It's literally, Zach Davies, 5 innings, 1 run. Yeah. You felt pretty good about that. All of the other starters have sort of been a disaster.
Like, if you would have told me right now, coming into the season at this point, that the bullpen would be the thing that's operating well, I would have told you were insane.
Yeah, and
and it's not. I wouldn't say it's great. I mean, it has a 4.5 ERA. Like, it's
compared to the other
great.
Elements of the game, like, it's better than what else is happening out there.
Very true.
But I do think having a more defined objective for the bullpen and more defined roles is something that everyone's looking for at this point.
Motion says James Outman looks like an actor in disguise. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't trust that guy one bit. I don't understand where he came from, and he's been entirely too good. Also, Will Smith, we're getting beat by Will Smith constantly. It's kind of wild.
I don't know how the Will Smith on this show, the Will Smith slander started on this show.
I blame Jacob.
Is it Jacob?
Yeah,
Did that
Jacob.
happen
It's
while
all
I was
Jacob's
gone?
fault. Jacob.
Will Smith is really
He's
good.
A really good
I don't know where
player.
Jacob got Will Smith is their number 3 hitter.
It's because he kind of did the thing that players do when they come to a good team, right? He disappeared for a little bit, but it didn't mean that he wasn't a great player, and that's the reason why the Dodgers went after him, right? But sometimes that happens on a team like the Dodgers. Honestly,
Will Smith is sitting 391.
We're not even getting
10 RBI.
We're not even getting beat by Mookie and Freddie Freeman. Like, let's be honest about it, right? Like,
Freddie did homer in this game.
Freddie did homer, but and the Diamondbacks' lack of offense, really, we could question the starting pitching, but you're just not gonna do much when you can only score 1 or 2 runs in a game, which is all we've really seen out of it this season. The Padres game, that was the most encouraging one. And even that was a Zach Gallen start that kind of fell apart, that the Diamondbacks found a way to kind of, be a little gritty. throwing it back to that word,
Nice.
and getting one of those wins out, right? But not all was bad. Not all was bad. And Jake McCarthy was very good tonight for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he ends up being our king snake of the game. Jake McCarthy ended up going 2 for 4, scored a run, had that triple. Look at him. He just looks fast there.
He's like a graceful gazelle.
Yeah. That's
running the base path.
That's so perfect. That's exactly how I want to think of him. And it's good because Jake obviously had a rough start to the season, but he's getting things back on track now. And
yeah,
I mean, even if it's one guy at a time, I'll tell you what we've seen out of this team. We've seen this team be able to be pretty good, be pretty competitive on the field. It just feels like they're not even close to running on all cylinders yet. So if you want to take one encouraging thing away, it's that. It's the fact that they haven't been playing at good baseball really at all, and they still are 3-4 now, right? But I don't want to take away from opening day at Chase Field because we had some great fun out there. The vibes were still pretty great at the ballpark, even though they lost. But
what percent Dodger fans would you
vibes
were
high.
say?
I don't know.
20,
yeah,
25?
there were. I didn't like. It wasn't an overwhelming cheer.
It wasn't crazy.
Dodgers.
No, there wasn't.
Crazy.
And actually, I talked to Tori about it in the moment, like because they were announcing the starting lineup for the Dodgers, and you weren't getting this huge cheer from the crowd. There was actually an audible boo for most guys. David Peralta got a nice reception. I don't understand booing Peralta either.
It was nice reception.
It was a mixed reaction. It was the most
they played
cheer
the little
out of everybody.
they played the little freight train sound.
Yeah, it was really cute. Someone in the comments actually said, I bet Dbacks fans are missing the freight train. They did give him like a special shout out when he was in the outfield, and they played the train noise, which was really cool. He did like the choo choo. But like the reaction was
still
like
a lot of boos for him, right?
I don't know if it was boos or if it was just like groans and moans and like just being disappointed that he's in a Dodger uniform.
He got a bigger reception, I think, when they announced his name before the game started.
Yes.
Then when he went out to left field and they had that little moment for him, then fans just like kind of didn't make any
They were
noise.
like, "Look, we clapped for him earlier.
He already got his accolades." Like
David Peralta is just still a delightful person to me.
He was still playing catch in the outfield with the stands, with the people in the stands, like he did when he was in Diamondbacks uniform.
And we saw him at spring training in a Dodgers uniform. I went up and talked to him, and he was just so funny about it, and he really does love Arizona still, but it's not like he left here on his own, right? He was traded away and then picked up. Bye. Let us know how the playoffs are like. We don't know what that's like. But he definitely, it was, I don't understand booing a guy that didn't
He did, to set the record, he did get traded. Then he signed with the Dodgers as a free agent, Derek.
Right.
Let's not.
But the Diamondbacks weren't knocking down his door to bring him back either, Jesse. You know that.
They weren't.
It was really, really weird seeing him out there where he normally plays baseball in a Dodgers uniform. It was like a out of body experience.
It was gross.
I was like, I hate this.
It's been a bizarro night all the way around, with the starting pitching being bad, but the relief pitching being good and everything else. But you know who was there for us? Our guy Baxter. Let's get back. Baxter looked great out there.
Baxter was in.
Look at him. Look at this guy with the HBK stretch. I love it.
He was feeling his oats.
You don't see it in that video, but the fireworks went off when he did that, and that's pretty cool. Also, speaking of fireworks, here's Michaela got an incredible shot of the flyover from tonight.
This is probably my favorite video I've ever taken in my life. This is during the national
anthem.
Favorite
bit. Wow.
Yeah,
that is high praise.
The anthem trumpet player was there.
Yeah, this is electric.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I had just finished just like sobbing over how excited I was about baseball.
Ooh, the way you followed them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty dope.
The runouts, though, I did get some fireworks. I got our young king. I think this is our young king.
Our young king.
Alec Thomas taking the field.
Alec Thomas,
boom.
Look at that, bam.
Fireworks. You'll love to see it. So, I mean, it was really cool. Opening day is just always the best.
It's so good to be out there. And honestly, like I talk about that I've covered this team for a long time, but to see all the people that work at Chase Field and all the coaches and everything, it's so much fun.
Everyone's really happy on opening day.
Everybody was
it all kind of goes downhill from here where people are just progressively more and more exhausted with how long the baseball season is, but everyone's happy.
It was great. There's so many people there too. What did they say attendance was? Like over
48,000. 48,000 plus.
It was awesome.
It didn't look like it there for a minute. Jesse and I were talking about how pregame when we were looking from the field.
apparently the traffic was very bad, which is
finding a parking
understandable.
spot was not
First
great.
Friday, and there was a Suns game happening at the same time. So between Friday and the street
doesn't First Friday happen on Friday?
Oh my God, you guys! Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm losing my mind.
I mean, it's almost
there was
midnight,
a Suns game happening. Oh yeah, it is almost midnight. There was a Suns game happening, so maybe that was why. But
no,
yeah,
that's absolutely. It's a nightmare down
directly
there
adjacent.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, but I will say this, like Jesse said, it was happiness. There was a guy with good vibes.
Yeah.
Going back to what I was saying, I did talk to Tori about the reaction to the Dodgers players. It felt like the first time in a very long time that there was boos that could be heard over cheers for the Dodgers, especially when announcing the starting lineup. Right. Let me just tell you, Tori dug it. Tori was with it, and Tori was smiling, and he was loving every minute of the fact that he has been here for a long time, and he has been to a lot of Dodgers Diamondbacks games at Chase Field, and there's nothing that man wants more than to make that stadium roar for the Diamondbacks the way that it once roared for the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
So
I asked Tori that question, of course, the day that the Dodgers clinched last year, right? That happened at Chase Field. Yeah. And I remember asking Tori after that game, like, is it tough for you with how much blue is in the stands? And he gave much more of a pointed answer than I was expecting. He was like, heck yeah, like this is messed up. This is not the way that it's supposed to be when we're playing in our own ballpark, right? And even today, honestly, like I was in LA for Dodgers opening day, right? For their home opener. And just even though Chase Field was packed, right? It was filled to the brim. There were 48,000 people there. The difference in the environment from Dodger Stadium to Chase Field on opening day is enormous. Yeah. I mean, just the amount, just how engaged the fans are, how loud they cheer for different events during the game. Yeah. It's not close. And I don't want to say that's like, oh, Dbacks fans are terrible or anything. It's just Dodgers fans are like, man, they're into it.
The worst.
Like yeah, you can make case they're the worst in a lot of ways, but they're loud. They're absolutely
the
loud.
best for their for that team, right? Yeah. Like the team loves them, and that's one thing that we want to create here. But it's not easy, man, because not only are we a big time transplant city where people's families or the people themselves that live here have come from a different state or a different city, right? But you just have this long time allegiance in baseball. It's just a sport that goes back with so much history and goes back so far that people's like family bloodlines fall like or fans of a team. You know, we're Cubs fans. That's what we are. We identify. We're the Johnsons and we are Cubs fans. That's what we are, right? And like there are some parents that will get mad at their kids if they try to like root for another team or whatever, right? So it's just the Diamondbacks have not been around long enough to build that. I'm finally starting to see that for the Arizona Cardinals after all these years, right? 1988, long time ago, the Cardinals came here, and just now I'm starting to see that generation of fans that were born into being a Cardinal, where they have been Cardinal fans since they were like little kids, and like that's kind of what the Diamondbacks are getting around to now that we're at 25 years. But 25 years is still a drop in the hat compared to how long the Boston Red Sox have been around, and the Yankees, and even the Pirates and stuff. So
I was born into being a Cardinals fan, and I've regretted it ever since.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. It's a rough lineage. Let me tell you.
No, I'm talking about the Arizona.
The Arizona Cardinals.
You could be born in a
if I've been born into a Saint. I mean, I feel like that's one of the better fan bases to be.
Yeah, St. Louis Cardinals.
The St. Louis Cardinals. That's a pretty good fan base to be born into. Arizona Cardinals, not. So
what we should be doing right now, Jesse? We should have some sunglasses on because I feel like we're throwing some shade.
We are kind of throwing shade.
And we may have secured a sponsorship deal with someone that can provide us with those sunglasses because we are very excited to be partnering with our friends from Shady Rays. You could take on the sun here in Arizona. You can finally take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. And I love this about them. Like, if you buy a pair of $200 sunglasses, you're constantly experiencing anxiety, wondering where your sunglasses are, if you've lost them, if you've broken them, if someone stole them, right? I mean, there's something to be said about affordable sunglasses that you can still love that same way, and Shady Rays does that. They are an independent sunglasses company with world-class products, just as good as expensive sunglasses, durable frames, extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures, and so much more. Let's go, Jesse. Oh, yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to look like this?
6
You want to look
sizes too
this
big,
sexy?
maybe?
Oh no, those are perfect.
Damn, who
Those
is
are.
he?
I don't know,
I
but
think
he's hot.
I need to see these on you, Derek.
Do you want? All right,
give these a
this
shot. Maybe they'll look better.
be-
They'll look better on you
This
than they do
might
on
be
me.
more of my vibe.
There
right
we
now.
go.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
These are Shady Rays, and of course, they are incredible. And you guys need to get yourself a pair. If you don't love your Shady Rays after purchasing them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back, which of course, like buying stuff on the internet is like that, right? Like you hesitate because you have no idea.
Not me.
No? Well, no. I mean, none of us actually hesitate to buy stuff on the internet, but we all know sometimes we get that stuff and you don't like it when it comes in or it doesn't fit right. Shady Rays got you. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Ray is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. 50% off.
50%.
Oh, I think you
yourself.
became Evil Derek when you put those on.
Did I? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Evil Derek
That's
has
a
a
Gabriel
goatee,
thing.
though. That's the only difference there. But try for yourself. And, of course, Shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Jesse going skiing. That's pretty accurate. I think that's about what that looks
skiing
like.
version of Jesse.
Just blocking out the haters.
Well, we thank you guys, of course, for being here right now on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when we go live or any of our wonderful shows on the network go live. Also, if you're listening to us on your favorite audio podcasting app, please subscribe to us there. Leave us a review. We always appreciate the feedback. But most importantly, we want you to join the family over here at PHNX. Get yourself a PHNX Diehards membership over at GoPHNX. Not only do you get a free piece of merchandise from the PHNXlocker.com, you also get 20% off all future purchases. You get access to all sorts of member benefits, including our members-only Discord lounge, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan. You also get access to our members-only discounts with our partners, members-only merchandise, and so much more. You also just get a $50 gift card right out of the box from our friends at Mountain Mike's. So there's no reason to not sign up. The hat and the gift card right there pays for the entire membership in itself. So join us over at gophnx.com. You also get access to Jesse's newsletter, Full Count, which Jesse just dropped a new one recently, right?
I did.
What was that one on?
That one was about Torey Lovello's usage of the leadoff spot and how obviously a leadoff hitter in 2023 looks pretty different than a leadoff hitter like back in the 1980s.
Especially when you're talking about Kyle Lewis.
Yeah. Kyle Lewis would have been, more of a cleanup hitter type back in the day. And I mean, for a lot of teams, he still would be that today. But I don't think Kyle Lewis is stealing 100 bases anytime soon. Like some of those guys back in the 80s. I don't think that's the case. So,
But the Diamondbacks have not been very good this year. We want to say that they've been maybe a little bit more lucky than good, but they've had a very, very bad start to this season. And Jesse, actually, we were talking about literally how bad things actually are right now. Dbacks are currently 27th in Major League Baseball in team OPS.
Yeah, I mean, it's all bad. It's all horrible. I'm going to be honest. The
pitching, offense, defense, it all sucks. Every single bit of it sucks.
Are 3 and 4, and it's kind of a miracle in some ways that they're 3 and 4, just given how bad some of these numbers look. It's like, wow, you played the Dodgers and the Padres and put up these numbers and somehow you won 3 games.
Is that not a good thing though?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely
mildly
is.
encouraged by this.
Yeah, you absolutely have to be. Right,
is.
Because if you are playing this poorly, Jesse gave us their slash line, their team slash line. Jesse, do you want to hit us with it?
The team slash line is 217, 267, 339.
And they've won 3 games.
That's pretty bad.
I mean, that's like a happy thing.
I don't know.
Like somehow they've managed to do this against probably 2 of the best teams in baseball, and they're not getting shit stomped every night.
And that's the thing is, like you said, it's encouraging because they're so bad right now, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're finding a way to win, which is something that we have desperately wanted to see this team do at times when things weren't working for them, then imagine when these guys do start clicking.
Yeah.
Which I can't imagine that this continues for this team. It just feels like everybody is pressing.
Yeah.
I think that would be the worst slash line in like Major League history, basically.
Yeah, for a team.
I don't think it's gonna. I think
Gabriel's
it's probably
saying
gonna come up.
bad team. Yeah.
The best bad team. We really are.
I mean, like good teams find a way to win games that they have no business winning, and the Dbacks have absolutely done that.
They got some chutzpah.
I don't want to take that away from them, but what I also want to make clear is like these 7 games have been pretty bad, like across the board. They've been pretty dang bad. The offense is not playing well. The pitching, we mentioned the bullpen being the least of their problems with a 4.50 ERA. The starting pitching has an ERA of 5.82 as a team right now. The D-backs have given up 14 home runs altogether this season, which is a lot.
60 innings.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
And looking at the offensive side, like on a more granular level, Geraldo Perdomo, gotta give that guy a shout out. He is 3 for 7. Not a lot of at bats, but he has more walks than strikeouts. He has an OPS over 1,300. He's been really good. But if you look through some of the other guys on this list, I mean, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is 5 for 28 to start the year. Ooh. All of his hits have been singles. Ooh. Alec Thomas is 0 for 13. He has yet to get on the board with a hit this year. Gabby Moreno had a double in this game. He's still 3 for 17. Cattell is 5 for 28. Kyle Lewis is 2 for 15. I could go on. Like everyone, it's been pretty bad.
Wait, can I make it even worse just for fun?
If you feel the need to, go ahead.
Dalton Varsho's hitting 333, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wanted to hear that there.
That's not how
needed to hear it, but I just needed to say it. I'm sorry, but it's what is going on.
Yeah, I mean, Moreno and Gurriel are a combined 8 for 45 to start the year. So that's a sub 200 batting average. That is
okay.
Bad.
Yes, it's bad, but they're only 1 game away from being 500.
And they've only played 2 teams so far in Major League Baseball, which happen to be 2 of the best teams in all of Major League Baseball.
I'm not trying to make excuses. Yes, it's bad. And the gears, they're grinding against each other right now. But all I got to do is figure out how to get a little bit of oil on these gears. And then the gears are going to start turning and everything might just be okay.
I really do. I mean, I like your metaphor, but I mean, you're not wrong, right? Like some of the problems sometimes is like, again, I don't understand how we've seen this the last 2 seasons and now the start of this season from this team. But
yeah,
it's amazing how when they are in an offensive slump, it's the entire team is an offensive slump. Like that's
I mean, you
so
could
unheard of.
Like McCarthy had a nice game. He's still at a 698 OPS on the year. I wouldn't necessarily call that good. Corbin Carroll, right? 6 for his first 18 to start the year. You know, people felt really good about that. He's gone 0 for his last 9. His numbers don't look great now. Christian Walker had a good first few games. He now has a 656 OPS. So yeah, the D-backs have played an absurdly high level of competition, right? The Dodgers and Padres, like you just said, very, very, very good baseball teams. They've found a way to win some games that they had no business winning, which is a good thing. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the numbers are awful. I mean, it's really, really bad. But I think it can only go up from here, right? Even against these teams.
Only go up from here.
It can only go up from here.
Technically, it can also go down.
So. Yeah.
But
my God.
From their team stats, I mean, you're not going to maintain these numbers for very long. These guys are Lourdes Gurriel is too good of a hitter to keep hitting, a $179. Like that's just not going to continue, no matter how good the opposing pitchers are. And within a couple of weeks, this hellish beginning to the season for the D-backs from a scheduling standpoint will change. And it is honestly, it is crazy how much it changes too.
If we never play the Dodgers again, it'll be too soon.
Oh, and we don't for quite a while. But it reminds me, Jesse, of when we started doing this show. Because Jesse and I started doing the show on the heels of one of the worst seasons in Diamondbacks history.
Yeah, we launched at a great time.
And then we went right into a lockout, right? And so everything was so hard for us back then. And things aren't so hard for us now, right? So maybe the Diamondbacks are just going through their hard phase here early on. And maybe based on the fact of how difficult this stretch has been and the level of difficulty of their opponents, maybe they come out of this once they get through and get the Milwaukee Brewers next week.
Like the Brewers are a really good team, but even they are like, oh my gosh, we're only playing the Brewers.
Yeah, thank God.
Like,
I'm so glad.
Like they're terrible. I mean, they're awful compared to the Dodgers. It feels like that's the other takeaway that I have from not only this game but last series and what will probably continue to unfold over these next few games is I think this Dodgers team is still really good. A lot of people came into this season with the offseason that they had and were like, you know what? Looks like the Dodgers are kind of taking their feet off the gas a little bit. Maybe this team is going to be, 85 wins, 90 wins, something like that. I don't know if I see that. James Outman is too good. Miguel Vargas is too good.
Young guy, man.
Dustin May, did his thing again today. Yeah.
Dustin May makes me sick.
I mean, I can't wait to see him
Yeah.
pitch against a team that isn't the Diamondbacks.
Dustin May is going to
That
own
was
us
unreal.
for 8 more years.
That was something else to watch.
Gross.
But I will say this, that I was talking about the vibes being immaculate. They're immaculate right now here in the chat because of the buck stops here. Thank you for your super chat, sir. And his super chat just says, ban the wave, ban the wave, ban the wave, ban the wave.
I could not agree
We
more.
are so on board with that.
We are a pro ban the wave podcast.
We are absolutely a ban the wave podcast. And just in case anybody forgot, surgeons have determined that doing the wave will cause tears to the Jesse, can you help me out with this one? Is it suprapnatus muscle and the
bless you?
I don't know what you're reading.
It's the throwing of the individual's arms rapidly into the air could cause rotator cuff injuries. All sorts of other stuff. Also, any children doing the wave will be sold to the circus. That's a rule at Chase Field.
That's where they belong.
I have no authority to cancel that rule out, but
it's part of the rule changes. Actually, some people might not be familiar. Last year we didn't have the pitch clock. This year we do. Last year the kids were not sold to the circus.
Now they're sold to the circus.
Now they are.
Can't stand in the infielders can't stand in the grass.
Yeah.
Can't stand in the grass now.
There's a lot of fine print in the rule changes.
But again, the vibes are immaculate, at least here at PHNX and the PHNX HQ, and they are always immaculate here in the Valley. And that's why we are excited to tell you guys about our brand new shirt.
Check
here
it
you
out.
go. Look at that bad boy. It's always sunny in the Valley, and the vibes are immaculate.
Vibes are immaculate.
Go grab this shirt right now. You need this shirt in your life.
A lot of teal.
There's a lot of teal.
There's a lot of teal.
We are working as much teal into everything as we can
teal.
this year. Yep.
Inject it.
So, I don't know if you guys saw that new logo on Twitter, but you might check that out. Also, tell you guys what, if you don't haven't already, make sure to fuel up not only yourself but your car and everything, even maybe your feelings, maybe your sadness. Fuel your sadness tonight from our friends at Circle K. Of course, stop on your way home, grab yourself a Polar Pop, grab yourself a 12-pack of beer for just $9.99. They got Red Bulls and Monsters. They got Red Bulls 3 for $8, Monsters 3 for $6. Check out our friends at Circle K all over the Valley. They have the best price on gas. Is very expentive.
Yeah,
so
this is ridiculous.
Let me tell you,
I'm about to start walking everywhere, and I don't exercise.
She hates it. She hates it. She's now trying to figure out ways to get me to drive her places. And then she wanted to sit in the back seat and work on her computer. That shit wasn't happening.
Did you know?
What's that?
So I just went on this little road trip. That
you did.
I think you do know that
gas was very expensive.
Yes, but not right at the border.
Oh yeah.
In Yuma, gas was like $3.65.
Yes, correct.
That's how much it is in Tucson.
And then the closer you get to Phoenix, it just keeps going up.
Same thing with up north. If you go up north,
like Sedona, or
like on that way up there, like all those gas
Weird.
stations that are usually too expensive to stop at on your way up, and you're like, we'll make it a couple more miles. No, they're like $3.54 right now.
I don't know what's
Phoenix
up with
has
that.
An environmental thing.
It is,
gas in Phoenix has to meet an environmental standard that it doesn't have to meet outside
it's
of the city limits.
certain additives, and it also comes from there's something about there's only 2 lines that come from California, so it's it's not easy. I've seen gas stations running out of gas, actually, but not at Circle K. So
we just talk about gasoline.
It's gonna be a gasoline podcast.
We're now a gas
at least
podcast.
one segment.
I feel like it's very important. This is a very important service to society that we're offering. But make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff. Head to circlek.com/store locator to find Circle K's near you. That's circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. And while you're there, grab our friends from Four Peaks Beer. It is the best local beer that you can find. And of course, they have a wide variety of beers, great beers. I love their IPAs.
Hazy IPA.
Hazy IPA.
Goated.
Also the Wow Wheat. So make sure to grab some beers at Circle K and keep yourself stocked up. Also, stop by their 8th Street Pub. They have spring training tours still going on. You can go over, ask them. Tell them Derek sent you. Tell them the baseball guy sent you. They'll show you the secret process where the beers are made by ghosts. And it's very exciting. So check out fourpeaks.com/events for all your beer week entertainment. And we're having another fun party out there. So make sure to join us on April 27th. Cardinals got a new coach, new GM. It's a new team. Cardinals also have the 3rd pick in the draft.
They need a new owner.
They need a new
from the top row.
Look, out of nowhere, RKO out of nowhere. But big opportunity for the Cardinals, and the best place to take in this pivotal moment in the rest of the NFL draft on April 27th is with your favorite degenerate from PHNX at the Fort Peaks 8th Street Pub. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy, and enjoy responsibly. Now, Jesse and I very much wanted to bring you good news in some way, shape, or form on this episode. Michaela wanted good news. They both demanded it, but we could not find anywhere. We looked in the farm system, and I hate to say this, but
more bad news.
The entire Diamondbacks organization today is a mess. It was just a bad day all around for every team associated with the Diamondbacks. I mean, the Reno Aces didn't play because they got rained out. Does that count as bad? I mean, I feel like that's bad.
I think that was the best news.
Is that? Yeah, it's the best news we have to offer you.
Yeah, so the Rawhide just finished their game. They were the last ones to finish. 17-0.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is there a mercy rule? Is there a mercy rule? Is there no?
Apparently there's not a mercy rule because it would have been activated at some point. This game did not end early. That was Drew Jones's first official game as a member of the Diamondbacks organization.
His first professional baseball game?
I guess unless you count those exhibition games, which we did see Drew Jones nearly hit a home run in one of those exhibition games last week.
I don't think you can count that.
First Chase Field AB.
Yeah, I don't think that counts. This is his first official professional at bat as a member of the Dbacks organization or at bats. He went 0 for 3 with a walk, so nothing super notable there. I'm told he made a pretty nice catch in.
He did. We actually have some video of that. Can we take a look at that? Oh.
Wow, where did you guys get this footage off a camcorder from 1942? Jeez.
I'm not sure if that's footage of Drew Jones or footage of his dad.
It might have been. It might be Drew Jones.
No way to prove it one way or another.
It was a great catch.
It was a great catch, whoever it was.
You talked about the Rawhide getting crushed 17-0. They're not the only ones that got smashed. Sod Poodles or calf fries, whichever one you want to call them. They lost their season opener 12-4, and the Hillsboro Hops lost 9-2.
Oof.
Yeah. So they had the best night, arguably, of all of the D-backs minor league teams, losing 9-2.
Can you say that?
It was pretty rough. Dylan Ray pitched in that game. Diamondbacks 4th round draft pick from last year.
Jesse, they got outscored as in total 38-6.
Oh,
that was really good math. Did you just do that?
I'm impressed.
That would have taken me like a calculator a couple years to figure out.
I think you're right. 38-6. Ray pitched decently well in that game. 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. That was good to see. But yeah, not great. Not great on the whole for any of the D-backs minor league teams today. The Reno Aces have been playing for a while now, but today was the opener for all of the other teams. So the Rawhide, the Hops, the Sod Poodles, they all had their openers, and none of them went well.
Didn't the Aces get smashed yesterday too?
Yeah, I believe the Aces lost 12-0 yesterday. Yeah, things aren't great. We can go through. Is
this the darkest possible timeline now? What happened?
The Aces are 2-3.
We were so happy last show.
The Aces have been respectable.
Fine. I feel like everyone's like getting a little too sad a little too quickly. Like we need to preserve our sadness for later on in the season when things inevitably are going to take a turn downwards.
Oh my god!
Like, can we just chalk this up to like?
Positive, but I'm not really sure it was.
What the hell just happened?
Can we just chalk this up to like it's the beginning of the season?
Yes.
They're dusting off their gloves and their bats, and they're gonna get into the swing of things. They just need to like get their mojo going.
Hopefully.
And it's going to be okay. Like it's too early to hit the panic button. And I'm not saying anyone's hitting it yet, but I feel like we're like trying to we're like flinching towards it. You know, we're like, maybe hit it. No. But I feel like it's going to be okay. Like, I know this sucks to watch them lose, especially on opening day. Twice on the road and at home, and it's easy to get down on this team, but I'm just not ready to give up yet. I think it's going to be okay. I think they just got to work. I feel like we got the jitters, you know? This team is so young. Like they've just got to work through it, and then it's going to be fine.
There is something to be said about staring across the field at that Dodgers uniform and being intimidated by it. And honestly, even though the Padres don't have that history with the lineup that they have and the kind of the mystique that's developing in San Diego around them, they also kind of have that same thing, you know? And I mean, at the very least, we can still take away that the Diamondbacks did work in these 2 series, and we still have to. I mean, this series they could split this series, and we could be like talking about how we overreacted, like you said, at the end of it, right? Because honestly, once again, if they have a 500 record after 8 games with the Dodgers and 2 games with the Padres,
I'll take it.
I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Right. So there's still plenty of time for them to salvage not only this series, but I mean, even just kind of get things moving in the right direction for them as a whole. I will say, I hate the fact that I'm starting to question the coaching of this team. And I'm talking about the major league coaching, and I'm talking about every aspect. It's not just one coach. I'm starting to wonder about Mather. I'm starting to worry about Strom, and it's not their fault. But like I said, when you're having all the starting pitching, with the exception of one guy, look pretty subpar, and when you have the offense not working in any way, and it's almost every single guy on the team, what point do you start trying to wonder if it's the coaching? I mean, we've said
too early, Derek.
It's absolutely too early. Well, you and I have said it to so often. We have said it so much where we have said that this coaching staff is incredible, and it's probably a big reason why the
parts of it, right? I think Brent Strom is pretty clearly one of the best in the world at what he does. I don't think you can really argue that, regardless almost of what the results on the field tell you.
Sure.
I don't know if Joe Mather necessarily has earned that level of respect. I don't know if Jeff Bannister, it doesn't have quite as much of an impact as a bench coach. That's a little bit of a different role.
But it was interesting to hear about Jeff Bannister's role as far as like the run game and stuff.
Yeah, he's very instrumental
in.
Tori was talking today about how Bannister basically controls the run game, or is very instrumental in helping Dbacks pitchers control the run game and instruct pitchers when to throw over to first. I was not aware that that's something that he had his hands on. So he's certainly involved as well. But
and he said it's not really that much different. Like, we asked him, like, how is it to try to incorporate these new rules into what you're already doing? And basically he said, like, with the throwing over to the base, he's like, we just got 2 bullets in the gun now. That's the only difference, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to pick your spots a little bit more, and you got to be a little bit more thoughtful about it, but it's still a chess game. You're still trying to, outthink each other and kind of come up with a plan that works. And so far, I mean, at least on the base path, the Diamondbacks, that hasn't been a problem for the Diamondbacks.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't really feel like teams stealing against them or running on them has been a problem. It definitely feels like it's other aspects of
Have we maybe considered that, like, a lot of their struggles at the plate has come from maybe like the pitch clock and trying to get used to the pitch clock? Because baseball is a game of like patterns. Like, I was talking to Andrew Chafin before the game, and we were asking him about a shirt that he wears before every single game. The same shirt every time.
That's okay. It's the failed starter shirt that I'm sure you might have seen Chafin wear, which is just an outstanding shirt. But Jesse brought back I think you did too. Like, this was mind blowing to me that they come and tell me he only has one of them.
Yeah, it's just one shirt, and it's the same shirt every single game. But he was telling me it's a game of patterns. It's a game of, being comfortable in like what you do day in and day out.
It's
and so
routines,
once you get into a routine when you're in the batting box of, and it's all the stupid shit that we hate, like taking off your gloves, readjusting the straps, like messing with your downstairs, like gripping your bat, like
messing with your
have
downstairs.
We considered that maybe, I don't know, this is a PG show. Have we considered that maybe some of the struggles at bat have just been, they're trying to adjust to the shift being banned. They're trying to adjust to the pitch clock and not being able to step out and do their routines. And like, they've gotten to a pattern of like always adjusting this glove and this glove. And they're like, I don't know, maybe there's something to account for there.
We don't know what the actual opinion. So, we only know how they answer the questions, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know how like the overall opinion towards the new rules are. The only thing we know is that Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen have made it abundantly clear that they are not a fan of any of this new stuff, right?
Totally.
And that's fine. But at the same time, like what you said, it makes me wonder how much it's bothering them, considering how they're struggling early this season, right? Yeah. And I do wonder how much it's bothering the batters as well. But I think the thing is that we will wait to see. We will see, obviously, who if they can hit their way out of this. And I kind of agree with you guys. I don't think this is something that's going to stick around for too long. Hopefully, they can get back on track.
The rule changes or the
Diamondbacks. The rule changes are
the struggles on. Okay,
yeah, the struggles. Those that need to go. The rules changes aren't going
if we're
anywhere.
looking for someone to blame, I blame Rob Manfred because he was the one who probably hired the schedule maker, and the schedule maker screwed us by making us play the freaking gosh darn Dodgers and the Padres to open the season. So if we're looking for someone to blame, I just put the blame on Rob Manfred. That is my fail safe. It never lets me down. It works every single time. Just blame Rob Manfred.
Wow.
All right.
I'm the schedule maker.
So as far as the schedule making goes, I do want to say on a point I was kind of making earlier, the D-backs first few weeks are insane, right?
Horrible.
You've got the Dodgers for 4, Padres for 2, Dodgers for 4, Brewers for 3. You get the Marlins for 3 over, I guess this is next weekend. That's a little bit of a break, but then you get 3 on the road against the Cardinals and then 4 at home against the Padres. So those first 3 weeks are just crazy for the D-backs. After that, though, from April 24th until the end of May, so literally we're talking almost a month and a half, depending on how you feel about the Philadelphia Phillies, you could make a case the D-backs might not see a playoff team for well over a month.
Thank God.
That is how
pretty
drastic of a change it is. And yeah, to kind of bring this full circle, like there's no getting around how bad the numbers are pretty much across the board. The D-backs have managed to go 3-4, which I think is a testament to their fight in some of these really tough games.
I'm saying.
But the level of competition they're playing right now is extremely high. And once we see the other side of that, once we see a month straight of, playing the Marlins and the A's and the Pirates and all these other teams, you wouldn't be shocked if this D-backs team starts to look pretty good all of a sudden once they're no longer playing the Padres and the Dodgers and facing Dustin May and Yu Darvish every night, right?
Yeah.
D-backs haven't faced one bad starter up to this point. Like maybe Ryan Weathers is the worst starter they've faced, and he was
Darvish.
Yeah, Yu Darvish is the worst. Like none of these guys are bad at all. The D-backs have faced pretty much all like number 1 and number 2 starter types at this point, and that is going to change here in a couple of weeks. So I think it's important to kind of reserve your judgments about this team for a little while before we see them start to face some more balanced competition.
The schedule maker was just like, we're going to demoralize the Diamondbacks for the first month.
Yeah, we're going to embarrass them.
Have fun figuring that out.
And then we're going to have this great comeback story for like a month after that. It's really weird.
Brady Martin saying 2 opening days against Los Angeles Dodgers was just cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Someone at D-backs must have pissed off schedule department at MLB. I'm saying, you guys, that's who we're blaming. Okay, we're not blaming anyone else. We're blaming the scheduling department at Major League Baseball. That's that.
I'm with it.
I don't even know. Is that like a robot? Like, is there an actual?
I have no idea how they do the schedule.
Person? I don't even know.
I don't know. Just Rob Manfred's at fault. I don't know.
The Mariners played a very, very short baseball game, by the way, and it's just once again a sub 2 hour game.
A sub 2 hour.
Wow.
Even today's game was fast.
Yeah. What's crazy though is I did find out that like even last year there was a sub 2 hour game, so it's not that uncommon to have this freakishly short games. The shortest game in Major League Baseball history, Jesse, was like 30 minutes long.
Yeah. I think we talked about this like a couple months ago. Yeah. I need to go back and look up the story of that game again.
For sure.
But this game was 2 hours and 43 minutes, which might be the longest Diamondbacks game that we've seen so far, if I'm not mistaken.
241 was the previous one.
Yeah, I think it was 241 was one of those games that they played in San Diego or LA.
Yeah, it's they're moving. But we have your probables for the rest of the series right here. Arizona Diamondbacks again. We get that classic matchup again tomorrow of Clayton Kershaw versus Madison Bumgarner. The matchup nobody wanted. Also, Noah Syndergaard versus Zach Davies. That's going to be an interesting matchup, especially of 2 guys with very, very, very small ERAs. And then the youngsters, Michael Grove and Ryan Nelson, go at it in the finale of this game. And I'm not as discouraged about the probables for the rest of the series as we were the first time I think that we played the Dodgers, right?
Looking at those pitchers compared to our pitchers just makes me so sad.
And they still have Walker Buehler.
0.69 ERA.
Yeah,
Walker Buehler's not there.
Walker Buehler's
not there. Yeah, because Michael Grove's just there for Walker Buehler.
And they're not getting Julio Urias this
oh my God.
Noah Syndergaard is there 5 if Walker Buehler's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not
Dustin May is
totally.
pitching.
I'm still not convinced that Noah Syndergaard is all that great. I mean, he wasn't really that great last year, so I think we need to reserve judgment on that a little bit. But yeah, Madison Bumgarner, it sounds like is going to start tomorrow. I know we were still waiting for an official word on that after he had some arm fatigue in his first start of the season, was sent back to Arizona for some tests. Those all came back clean. So Mad Bum, it sounds like, is a full go for tomorrow night. And yeah, the Kershaw Mad Bum thing didn't go so well last time.
Sure didn't.
No, it did not.
And yeah, I mean, at this point, if you win that game, you feel like you stole one.
Yeah.
Like you won another one of those games that you probably had no business winning. That pitching matchup at this point is pretty lopsided.
Gabriel says, we really going to split the series with the Dodgers again? Hell yes, we are.
That would be huge.
Yeah,
that would be enormous.
Brady Martin says, hey, totally random, but did they introduce Mark Melancon during pregame intros tonight? I swear I didn't see him. We did not see him.
I did not.
I did not see him.
I don't
but we
remember
did
that.
see Carson Kelly, and we saw Corbin Martin. They were both in slings, and it brought a tear to our eye.
Weird.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's kinda weird.
I did not
notice
see him.
that. I did not notice that.
That's a great catch.
Possible that all
That's
of
a
us
great
just missed it, I guess.
No,
but
I was paying attention to the whole lineup,
Yeah.
and I didn't hear him.
Yeah, because
Maybe they just
would have been some boos, I'm sure.
Corbin Martin
Scott
is
McGough
out.
didn't get the best reception himself.
Maybe
Yeah.
they'll just announce that they DFA'd him tomorrow and make everyone stay awesome.
Corbin Martin is out for the season, and he was out there.
Yeah, he was out there.
Yeah.
But Mark Melancon is not necessarily out for the season, and he wasn't. That's
Corbin
pretty weird.
Corbin Martin and Carson Kelly were palling around way too much about their arms being in slings.
Yeah.
Like I saw him at one point, nudge him with his. And I was like, no, I don't know. That makes me sad. You guys are both too good to be on the shelf for as long as
The
we're gonna
bullpen
lose
could
both
use Corbin Martin.
God, they
The
could.
Corbin Martin that we saw in spring training.
97 mile an hour
Yeah.
down the corners. Corbin Martin.
It was the Corbin Martin that you kind of hoped you'd see eventually. And,
But-
you had no guarantees of what it was going to look like once the games counted. Corbin Martin hasn't really proven much in the regular season just yet. But
Very, very true.
what
Very
we
true.
saw looked pretty good.
Speaking of a Corbin, different one. Chris asked us, how do we feel about Corbin getting dropped off by his parents? It got brought up a lot on TV.
Oh,
That's-
fantastic.
It was fantastic. It was great.
My
was really
parents
cute.
drop me off at the ballpark every single day
They
to do
do.
my job.
They do.
I don't know about
they,
you guys.
They give him
but
a lunch. I get really
Wait, are you being
jealous
real?
because I'm very possessive over Jesse. So when I see his actual parents taking care of him, it makes me sad. It makes me feel inadequate. Like I'm not doing a good enough job as his work dad. That his real parents need to step in, right?
gosh.
That's undercutting me. But Corbin Martin Corbin Carroll.
Lots of Corbins.
Lots of Corbins.
Corbin Carroll's just
Corbin
a
squared.
very wholesome fellow.
He really
Very
is.
wholesome.
and that's just
That's it.
right.
It's
We
that.
did learn the story behind it,
We
though,
did,
right?
yeah.
It was
So
it's Corbin Carroll's car. He picked them up from the airport.
He went to go get his
right?
parents before the game, and he just decided it was going to be easier to let them keep the car and drop him off at Chase Field because they have to be here so early.
Hours.
There are
7-8
hours in between when he gets dropped off and the actual game starts. So I'm sure he told his parents to go maybe drop their bags off, maybe go get a drink or something
There
to
you
eat or
go.
something. But definitely was not him actually getting dropped off.
It was
by his
like the
parents.
pictures are so cute though. It was like first day of
It's
school.
adorable.
Like
yeah.
have fun at your
Yeah,
first day of school.
right.
This is Corbin Carroll's first home opener.
Yeah,
like
it is.
he's been around in the big leagues for a while now, but he's never had this experience
Yeah.
of having his name announced in
Yeah.
front of the home crowd and everything like that.
Yeah.
And
So-
they were amped for him. But I did want to see his mom do that thing where she goes like this, and then he has to put his foot up on her leg and then tie his shoe. I wanted to see that. I almost had to do that for Mac
Yeah.
earlier today.
It-
by the
it
way,
almost
it's,
happened.
it's like I have two kids over
Yeah,
here.
I was
It's
gonna
like I
say
have
you
two
are
kids.
my work dad. You drove me to work today.
I
You
did
drove me to
drive
the
her to work,
ballpark.
yeah, and then
You
I
held
made
my
sure-
stuff for me.
I took her purse back to the office because
literally
it was
took
too
my
heavy for
purse.
her to carry.
Yeah.
And it's very heavy.
It is. It's a
It's
luggage.
in fact something that
Yeah.
she needed help
He
with.
gave me a pen and a computer charger and a phone charger. You're my work dad.
This is why I love
Dad.
her. But, and I'm going to take
This
both
is
of these
just
kids
so
to
weird.
Octane Raceway and Mavericks. That's where I'm taking my kids. We're going to have a fun time over there because we already had fun going out there and checking it out. I beat Jesse in bowling, even though he doesn't want to acknowledge it. And I'll do it again.
We weren't in
I'll
direct
do it again.
competition.
I will do
we
it again.
weren't- We were not in the same lane.
Okay, but I kicked
right?
both y'all's ass in the go-karts.
Oh, she's
I didn't
she
do the
was-
go-karts.
I
I
was
wasn't
really
here
bad.
for that.
I was so
Oh.
bad. I should have been better at the go-karts, but I was trying to Mario Kart it where I was trying to hit the edges and I was it didn't work
Yeah.
out.
Green
But,
shell or red shell?
I'm an expert with the green shells. I'm really good.
Really?
I'm really
Impressive.
good. More
Impressive.
technically difficult, but still I'm fire with those. But I'll tell you what is fire. Octane Raceway and Mavericks, huge selection of beers, all their variety of video games, all the stuff you can do there, bowling, race go-karts. It's a blast. They have $15 domestic beer buckets. And more importantly, they got daily specials every day. Tomorrow's Friday. They got trivia night and rotating drink specials from 8 to 10. Trivia. Everybody loves the trivia. So make sure to do that. Also 50% off signature bowling before noon this weekend. Book some fun this spring at Octane Raceway and Mavericks. Kart racing, virtual reality, laser tag, axe throwing. See, Jesse won't go axe throwing with me. I don't think I'd go axe throwing with Michaela, but that's a whole other thing.
You would probably come back severely injured or dead.
That's why I'm hesitant. But bowling, arcade, food, drinks, so much more. You can watch all sorts of sports at Mavericks in the Trophy Room Grill and patio, and you'll get a free $10 game card when you purchase an entree in the Trophy Room. Check out octaneraceway.com and mavericks.com to learn more. And if you want to not pay $40 for a baseball game, but you want to come out and watch these Arizona Diamondbacks take on not only the Dodgers, but the Brewers next week, make sure to do so using gametime.co. Game Time is the best place to procrastinate and get your tickets last minute, but also save some money. You can save up to 60% on tickets when you buy them last minute. And the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. It's an aesthetically pleasing app. It's got everything you need. And of course, the longer you wait, the cheaper tickets could get. So just procrastinate until the final moment and then get yourself some tickets. Get out and have some fun. At least more fun than we had tonight.
I had a great time. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like, I know the Diamondbacks lost, but I was vibing. I was having a great time at the ballpark.
My entire mood is contingent on whether my sports team wins or loses, and you know that. So,
you guys, we messed up though.
What did we mess up on?
Something really awesome did happen in the minor leagues tonight.
What?
Ronnie managed her first minor league baseball team for the Hillsboro Hops. So cool.
All hail.
So cool. Yes. Thank you, Tyler, for pointing that out in the comments.
Yeah, it really,
how cool.
It really was a big moment.
Yeah.
And she's just a tremendous coach that these players absolutely love.
Yeah.
They absolutely love her.
Every person you talk to who played for the Hops when Ronnie was there as a coach, not the manager, but as a coach, nothing but amazing things to say about her.
And to see her work in the spring training camp and to be up here.
Yeah, she was out at Dbacks camp one day. We got to talk to her for a while. And she was
great.
Great stuff. So
congrats, Ronnie.
Yeah, there's some positives. What else you got, Justin?
Yeah, I just want to go through a couple stats from the Reno Aces real quick. If I may.
Please. I kind of cruised through that because it was all sad news.
There's more sad news. There's some positive. I'll start with the positive stuff. All right, how about that? Diego Castillo, off-season acquisition for the Diamondbacks, 10 for 18 so far, hitting a 556. Not a bad start for him. Outside of that, offensively, Buddy Kennedy played in 3 games. He's 6 for 9 with 2 home runs.
Whoa, that's our buddy. Let's go, buddy.
Buddy Kennedy continues to be very, very good.
Nice.
Haven Smith, not off to a hot start. He's 3 for 16 at this point.
Oof.
So not a great start for him. Seth Beer, 2 for 11.
But you can't really say like, oh, well, look at how great Kyle Lewis is doing right now.
Yeah.
All things
Kyle
considered.
Lewis hit that home run and there was so much hype, and now you look up and his OPS is like 500. So it's pretty bad. On the starting pitching front, Tommy Henry was the opening day starter for the Reno Aces. 5 innings, 4 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, which is pretty decent for the PCL in Reno.
You got to do the Reno conversion math.
Reno adjustment for altitude.
That's actually a 1.35 ERA.
Yeah, guaranteed Cy Young winner if you're doing that. Blake Walston started game 2, only 3 2/3 innings there, 72 pitches. He wasn't all that efficient. Only 1 hit though allowed in those 3 2/3 innings, no runs. So it was a pretty good performance from him. Brandon Fott started game 3 for the Reno Aces.
Fott, man.
7 strikeouts, no walks, but he gave up 4 home runs.
Fott, no.
3 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 dingers.
The damn count.
2 of those were JJ Blade, who's a really, really good prospect. So, the level of competition at least was good there. I also looked at some of the data. Brandon Fott threw like 75% fastballs in that game, which was a little odd.
Yeah, that's so unlike him.
Yeah, I'm not, and he wasn't having like control issues from what we can tell. So it's a little weird why he threw so many 4-seamers. We'll continue to monitor that. Peter Solomon started game 4, nothing particularly notable there. Slade Ciccone started their most recent game, 3 2/3, 6 runs.
I tried to stop him. I really tried.
So
I really tried not to go.
I said I would start with the good news, which I did. But
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, there are other guys who have been good too. Blaze Alexander, 364 with a 952 OPS. He's looked pretty good so far. And I would say the offense as a whole is holding up fairly well. It's just the pitching side has kind of struggled early on.
If you want to send him Twitter messages about him doing this to us again, he's at Jesse and Friedman.
There you go.
There you go.
That's where to find me.
I've been on the positive hype train all night.
You have been, and I appreciate that, because even I feel like my happiness has been brought down a little bit by Jesse, but she's at Michaela E. Perkins, at Michaela E. Perkins on Twitter. If you want to
follow
her
me
messages.
I'm so close to 10,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
So close.
Let's get her there. I'm at Cap_caveman with a K, of course. Damon Dog is at Damon DHWG. Of course, our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We hope you guys all have a much better night than the Arizona Diamondbacks.
We're shutting down the office.
Yeah,
guys.
Everybody's
Let's
leaving
wrap
on
it
us.
up.
We're turning this lights off, but we thank you guys again so much for joining us. On behalf of everybody around here, we appreciate you guys as always. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when your starting pitchers are actually good.
Okay.